Hello everyone, this is the Joy of Reading and welcome to the second video of my series about Dante and the Divine Comedy. Today I would like to tell you something about Dante's life and about the political situation at his time. I will not go in the depth, but I think it's important to know at least some basic facts in order to understand many things that happen in the comedy. So let's go. Dante was born in Florence in 1265 AD, of course, and he died in Ravenna in northern Italy in 1321. His family was a noble one, but it belonged to the local nobility and was neither particularly powerful nor particularly rich. Florence, like all northern Italy, formerly belonged to the Holy Roman Empire. This was, however, a really formal affiliation. In short, the cities in northern Italy could do whatever they wanted, but had to pay taxes whenever the emperor showed up. Of course, this is much more complicated than that, but I just want to give you a general picture. In the 12th century, the Emperor Frederick, called Barbarossa, and later another emperor, Frederick II, decided to expand their power in northern Italy. And of course, many cities that were used to be independent didn't agree with that. So they turned to the most powerful opponent of the emperor, the Pope. In this context, two political parties arose, the Guelphs and the Ghibellines. Sometime I will make a video to explain why they were called like that and what the issues between Pope and Emperor were, but for now let's just make it basic. The Guelphs sided with the Pope and the Ghibellines with the Emperor. Usually the biggest cities like Florence were Guelphs because they were extremely rich and powerful and they didn't want to give up power to the Emperor. The smaller cities on the other side were Ghibellines because they feared the bigger cities more than the emperor, and they hoped that the emperor could take over. Florence, Dante's family, and Dante himself were Guelphs. In Florence there were two groups of Guelphs, the white ones and the black ones. The white ones were more moderate. They didn't like the emperor, but they weren't crazy for the Pope either, whereas the black ones were more faithful to the Pope and more radical, and Dante belonged to the white ones. At the time, Florence was administered like a republic, so there wasn't a governor or something like that, but every year a group of citizens got elected and took decisions about alliances, wars, economy, and so on. And Dante was an important politician for several years. At some point, the tension between the two groups, of Guelphs, the whites and the blacks in Florence, escalated, and Dante with some colleagues went to Rome as an ambassador to the Pope, hoping to settle the matter. While they were there, the situation in Florence degenerated, and long story short, Dante was exiled, his property was taken away from him, and if he had returned to Florence, he would have been executed. Exile and executions were fairly normal in Italian politics at the time, so if someone lost in a city, it was normal that they were exiled or killed. So Dante spent the rest of his life wandering from city to city, and he never set foot in Florence again. His remains are still in Ravenna, where he died, and Florence tried unsuccessfully to have them back several times. And this topic of the exile will become a huge theme in the Divine Comedy and will come out several times. So, thank you for listening. If you like this series about Dante, you can follow my channel and or my Facebook page, and if you have some kind of question, I can try to answer them, but please remember that I am no expert actually. So thank you for listening.